I'm Shane.
I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back.
We're here
Finally.
Yeah, finally. We know we had some issues, guys. We've got those fixed.
Yeah, we have new equipment that's not going to break on us.
We will hopefully not run into
ever
any
have
other
that
issues
problem
again.
happen
I
again.
can't say that for sure because the only reason we ran into this is because I'm a clumsy fool.
At least you own it.
Yeah, it is what it is,
It's
guys.
like, I'm a dumb fuck. It's my fault.
It is what it is, guys. It was 100% me. It was.
It's okay. We pivoted and fixed it, and we got
So-
last week's episode out.
By the time you hear this, you've already listened to
to
it. Give us some feedback. Tell us what you thought about the rough cut. It
Yeah,
was not completely rough. I did go in.
Mostly unedited.
Yeah, mostly unedited. I definitely did not do
'Cause
the normal level of edit that we
It's
did.
hard to edit with half a screen.
There was half a screen. This computer got here literally the day before, and I wasn't able to get all the software and updates and
Yeah.
all that stuff until...
The usual computer tech issues.
Yeah,
It's like,
and
it
so-
should be easy, but it takes 4 hours.
Yeah, so I did the best I could. We are here now.
You did a great job,
Yeah.
man.
So I do apologize about the lack of shorts last week. I was able to get one out.
I saw it. It was good.
I had others clipped, and so that might be one of those things I'll randomly release later on. I'll make sure to tell people like this is an old episode, but these were just clips I had ready. I couldn't make the video for
Because of
lack of computer.
The death of computer.
That being said, I think we should just go ahead and get into socials so that way we can get started.
Just
with
get right
everything,
into
right?
it.
Like,
I'm not even going to do any bullshit. I'm just going to sit here.
Yeah, let's
Go for
just
it.
get these done because I'm excited to get
Yeah, me
started
too, dude.
with,
Let's
with
go.
what we're doing today. You know how this goes. The first one's always our meta apps. That's going to be the big three. One of those maybe not so big, but we'll just keep calling it the big three, pushing
That's
it.
good.
Well, they should be giving us kickbacks. With
Yeah,
as
they
much as
should.
we
It's like
give.
we're like the only people that mention you. Come on now. We're pushing your shit.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
right. So we got Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. Threads being that one. You know.
Come on, Threads.
You know. You get.
Come on,
You're
you know-
trying.
You
I'm
know
not,
you love us.
Not pretending like you're not trying. You are.
I'll be the poster boy for Threads. That's fine.
So all of those you're going to be able to find us at Kentucky Fried Critics. All lowercase, no spaces, no hyphens, no anything special, no special characters. It can be an at or a slash, depending on which one of those places you're at. You'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I got faith in you.
We believe.
After those three, after that suite, the meta suite of apps, we'll move on to YouTube. YouTube being that one, it used to be the one we hated.
Yep. No longer.
Yeah.
Tis my favorite now. The home of
We love you.
Yes, home of my special friend, Riddick Rat.
That's right. And so that one you're going to be able to find us at youtube.com/@KFC Riddicks. It's the home of the Riddick Rat. We love our Riddick Rat. It is the YouTube mascot.
Yeah, the YouTube mascot.
All right, but so that'll be everything for YouTube. The next one we'll cover is going to be the website. You know, it's the hub where you can find all of the information I just told you.
Yep.
Yeah, in case you just wanted one place to find it all. You don't want to type it as I was telling
It's
you.
nice that we have that.
It
you
is.
know.
It's nice, yeah. And so that one's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-fried-critics. That's the one.
Got a little headbang there.
Fitting.
Right.
Fitting for today.
It was. You did it a little faster this time.
Well, that's I was
a nicer
hoping to set you
cadence.
up
You're
for
like,
it. Yeah.
"Deh."
Again, that one's our hub. You can find everything you need to contact us or find us or see anything you need to
Message
see.
us.
It's all there, including our email.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that we always close out on here.
Yep, this is our suggestion box. If you have a suggestion of a movie or a beer, this is where you send it, and we might just do it.
Well, and especially right now, remember the
episode 50.
that-
We really want your all's suggestions, and we're gonna pick one of y'all's to do.
to add to the list at the very least.
Yeah.
Right. We might give you
If
guys
we get a big enough list, we'll just
we'll put a poll up for you guys
Yeah.
to decide. So we'll see what happens. But definitely, if you have one you want us to do, message
Email.
us, email something. Definitely reach out.
What is that email, Shane?
KentuckyFriedCritics@gmail.com.
Nice.
All right, guys. That's all of the socials. We told you we wanted to push right through those. So that way we could get into everything today because we're excited. Like we said in our social media post about this, there was no game this week.
No, we didn't play a game.
So we'll go ahead and tell you the movie first for a change instead of the beer.
Yep.
So this time we're doing SLC Punk 2, Punk's Dead, or Punk's Dead, SLC Punk 2. I've seen
I think it's the other
I've
way.
seen it both ways
Have you?
online. Yeah. So I never know. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is technically officially Punk's Dead :
SLC Punk 2.
But so either way, just know it's the sequel. This is our first true sequel. It's the first
Our
time we've
sequel
ever done a
episode.
real sequel.
Yeah.
Like it's a sequel for us and a sequel movie.
movie.
So it's a big one for us. It's
Yep.
fun and it's exciting. Again, like you probably heard me say if you listened to our last one when we covered the first movie, I am a huge James Merendino fan.
Yep.
It was an impactful movie for me when I was younger. I absolutely adored it. I'm glad I was able to show it to you now.
Me too. I love that movie. It was good.
And so this one was one that was Kickstarter funded or GoFundMe or
Fan funded.
Yeah, it was fan funded or Indiegogo. I don't remember.
Indiegogo?
You know, like
I remember
again,
that.
it was way back because this
When
wasn't,
it was first starting to become
when
a thing.
the whole crowdfunding stuff started. So this was a movie that he got crowdfunding. This was essentially made by the fans for the fans.
Nice.
Right? Like they put the money up to help him make it.
Hell yeah.
Help him tell this other story.
Not nearly as much of a budget as the first one.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
Just
First and
on principle
foremost,
there.
we want everybody to understand. That's part of why we're saying this. We want everybody to understand that. Before we get
this
to
was
the
low budget.
Yeah, before we get to the beer, we want to cover a couple of things about this movie. Unfairly, it gets a lot of hate from
It
people.
really does. I didn't believe you when you told me that. I was like, there's no way. So, on the internet I go and I start reading through the reviews for it and stuff. And I'm like, dude, some of these people are just mean about it.
For no reason.
No reason.
Well, you'll hear more of our opinions
Yeah.
on the movie as we go. But again, already understand we enjoy it.
Yeah, it was fine. Fine and fun, as
There's
Tony would say.
there's no reason for hate. That's for damn sure.
There's no reason for hate for this.
But he got a lot of vitriol from people for no reason.
Unneeded.
It basically because they wanted
Matthew Lillard again.
Yeah, and they wanted it to be exactly the same.
Oh,
And
they
it's
wanted
like,
this exact same movie.
How many sequels do you get that are exactly the same?
None.
Right?
No good ones anyway.
So this is one of those movies, like, we definitely wanted to talk about that. Like, it's unfair.
It is.
Especially
is it a masterpiece, great piece of modern art or whatever. No, but it's a nice,
great. It's fun.
It's a nice, relatable story.
It's a romp. It's a
Yeah.
good buddy
Buddy
movie.
movie,
Car trip. movie.
Yeah, what
Like,
else
again,
do you need
it's
here?
good. It brings the characters back, which again, that's what say what you want. Any
Yeah.
of you Kickstarter people, any of you people who wanted this crowdfunded, who tried to get upset about it, you got what you paid for. You paid
Yeah.
for being able to see some of these characters again, and you really, I mean, dude, I love those. Are some of the best scenes in
You
the
got
movie.
Devin
getting to
Sawa
see
back.
them.
What more do you need?
Like,
Come on.
like, don't get so uptight about it that you're going to say it's horrible just because you didn't get the one thing you wanted, right?
For the money they had, this was great.
I think it was more than adequate.
I
for
think
sure.
I've seen way worse movies for like much more money.
And so at this point, I want to go ahead and we had reached out to James Merendino to tell him.
Friend
again,
of the channel.
I hope he doesn't get upset that we say that, but we interact with him a lot on social
sure he
media, and we reached out to him about a couple of things for the movie because again, we had told him we were going to do this one as soon as we done the first one.
Our sequel special here.
That's right. And so one of the things I'll read right now is exactly what his thoughts about this. His words. When you make a sequel, you come up against millions of people who have written a sequel in their own head. So either you have already written a sequel based on available work, or you make it quick enough that people don't have expectations.
Nice.
This movie came 17 years later. All these obstacles made for a movie that initially disappointed. I took that risk. I want to leave it there. He sent me a little bit more, but I want to point that out. He took the risk.
No risk, no reward, man.
Nobody else was making this movie. The sequel, like he said, they all have a sequel in their own head, right?
Right.
Nobody else was making that sequel in their own head. Nobody was asking him, hey, can I use your characters to tell the story further?
Can I buy your intellectual property and make my own sequel?
So
you can do things like that.
And so if they're not going to do that or they're not going to do this, who are they to say something to the guy who did put it all out? He put it all out.
Yeah, he wrote, directed, edited all of it.
Well, and he put it all out because he said, I'm going to crowdsource it. He said, I'm going to try this. I'm going to see what we can do. I want to make something for the fans. That's what he did.
Respect.
I love that.
Right.
On that note, I will also start talking about I am rocking some sweet merch.
Mine's on the way.
Yeah.
That's actually my jacket. I just happen to have a green army jacket, but I got the Bob jacket coming. It's going to be awesome.
Calm down. Let me
Sorry,
talk
I'm
some.
excited,
I know
excited.
you are, but geez, I've not even said anything about any of it. I've not told them what the merch is. I just said you've seen it, and you're like,
Sorry.
like I was saying, on the note of James making things for the
For
fans,
fans.
much
Yeah,
like
there
he
you
did the
go.
movie. He also did the same thing with these jackets. Now that you've already heard
How excited I am about it and totally interrupted the plug for it.
It's all good. Well, they can't buy it now anyway. They were
No.
limited run, and I'm not trying to
Limited
rub
run.
that wasn't a rub in your face kind of. They can't get it now. It was making the point so if they see our sweet jackets,
Yeah, that's where they came from.
So I've got the when he first released it, that's why I've got mine. He started with just from the first movie a Steve-O jacket and a Heroin Bob jacket. The one we even talked about in the episode, the one with the anarchy symbol.
Anarchy symbol and the white.
He did a great thing for all of us. He went on a hunt to try to find down the company who made the original, and when he couldn't do that, he reached out and found somebody, helped him make these, and they painstakingly like looked at each piece to try to be like, it needs to be like this.
Yeah,
it needs
a lot
to be
of
slightly
effort
different.
went in.
It's great. It's awesome. It's dope. So I've got my Steve-O wearing for this. Bo will have a army jacket. We would have gotten Bo the Heroin Bob jacket. There's not a slight against them for wanting to make that one. It's an awesome jacket, but white's bad.
I'd never keep it clean. It would get stained so
So
fast,
fast.
and I'd be so upset.
Yeah.
If I did buy it, it'd be like, I'm hanging it on the wall.
That's totally a framed.
Yeah, like there it is. I'm hanging that up there. It's getting dusted, you know.
100%. I agree.
Because I get coffee on it, man,
something.
immediately.
When it's white,
It's
just
white,
like it's
just
a
attracts
magnet
it,
to
yeah.
colors, dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, so again, I see no reason for anyone to try to fault James Merendino. All he does is try to bring things his fans want to them. You know what I mean?
Did he have patches and shit too?
Yeah, he
Like,
made patches.
yeah.
He made this. He made that. Like, I mean, he did a whole. Like, you
There's
know what
like
I
a
mean?
whole line of like SLC
anniversary. Yeah, it was
Anniversary
anniversary.
munch.
The first stuff was just to make like the reproduction jackets, and then he was like, "Now we're doing the anniversary for the movie haul," which is where your jacket, because your jacket, the army jacket, has the logo for the 25th anniversary.
I'm not old, motherfucker.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm
not old.
Yeah. See, there you go. Exactly. We're not old.
Exactly. I'm not. I'm young in my brain.
Maybe we should now talk about the beer.
Yeah, we need to talk about the beer and the very, very generous people over at the Proper Brewing Company who sent us this very fantastic SLC Pilsner.
SLC Pils.
SLC Pils.
It is a Pilsner. Make sure you get the name right.
The name is just SLC Pils, and it's got Steve-O with the big blue mohawk on the can.
Again, this is a beer that obviously if we would have known about when we did the first episode, we would have tried to do that then. But what happened here, and again, this is how we started our social media friendship, if you will, with James Merendino, was that after releasing the first one, we were like, we want to do the sequel. We were like, if you know a beer, what's a great beer
that would go with it?
And he sent us this one, showed it to us.
Yeah, showed it to us, and we were like, oh, cool, we'll buy
told
that.
us what the company was. And again, the company's in Utah. We're in Kentucky.
So yeah, we're just like, whatever, we'll buy some. And
we'll see what we can do.
See if we can. At least some people won't let you.
We couldn't find any kind of site that we could source it from to Kentucky. So then I had just reached out to them directly. The good people at Proper Brewing reached back out to me and they were like, look, we are huge fans of James Merendino as well.
Yeah,
obviously. And we would love to help you guys do this. We would love to help you guys also do some more showing of love to him and his projects. And so they mailed us a whole case.
A whole fucking case.
I mean, guys, I don't know what you guys think we drink per episode, but I promise you it's not. I think sometimes we really like to lean into it. It's really good for the episode.
Yeah. But like
I promise you.
Four at the most?
Yeah. There's never been a time where we have been
just
like,
sloppy drunk.
Let's kill a case between the two of us.
I was expecting like a 6-pack.
Yeah, at the most.
At the most,
or a 4-pack if that's what they sell. Yeah, whatever they sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they sent us a case.
So
and they did not have to do that.
Again, big thanks to Proper Brewing. And on that note, you know how this works. We'll tell you more about the beer itself
at the
end. Just know we have had this one. You know, like
we had a case. We've been kind of drinking it,
and we've had it for months. Again, when I posted, I said that we've been working on this for a while, and I know like obviously for the episode itself, you guys know we just watched a movie and took notes. That didn't take months, but I mean behind the scenes, us getting the beer. We've been working on this.
Yeah, because we love this fucking movie. We love this dude, the director, James. He's great. So we want to celebrate the 10th anniversary of
It's 10 years since it wrapped. Since
they finished filming.
It's 8 years since it released. I think it released in 2016.
Oh, well, close enough. Happy happy fucking anniversary, you punk bastard.
You guys know how this works. Before we really get into the movie, we'll just do a quick rundown of the people in the movie.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, the cast is pretty tight, which is great. Most of them are people we've talked to you about before.
Yes, they were in the last fucking movie.
So let's start with our 3 that are not from the last movie. So our big 3 that are not from the last movie, they're our focus. They're
the focal point.
Yeah, they're
their
our
movie
protagonists. They are the new generation. If you would, if you will, if this was made in '92, this would be SLC Punk, the next generation. This would be the next generation.
Oh, they totally would have called it that too.
Oh, I mean, you would have had
like,
to.
well, Star Trek's really popular, you know.
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's where it would have gone.
I like that one.
That's where it would have went for sure. All right, but so we'll start with Ben Schnetzer. That's the guy who played Ross, our main character. Yeah, and so Ross being Bob's son, he was conceived before Bob died. Bob never knew. He was raised with no dad, but knowing the legacy of his father.
Yeah, so he knew who his dad was and all that stuff.
The next one we've got is Colson Baker. Now, for anybody who recognizes that name but can't place it, I'm gonna go ahead and just bite the bullet and get this out of the way. That's Machine Gun Kelly.
I think he's a better actor than he is a rapper. Really.
I do too, for sure.
He's in another movie somebody was telling me about. Apparently, I should check out.
Well, I can tell you right now, as far as this one goes, too, I loved him in this movie. He was great.
He was fantastic.
He plays Crash. He's just he's Ross's best friend. Ross is not necessarily a punk person. They try to say goth punk or emo, but I wouldn't. The punk is maybe not the word that would go into what I would classify, especially when you see his look.
Yeah.
Let's at least go there. His look is 100% not in some kind of punk, right? Crash is a punk. He looks like a punk. He's wearing the battle armor.
That mohawk.
Yeah, I mean,
he is full fucking punk.
Yeah,
what they call him, a gutter punk?
Well, no, he's not a gutter punk.
Oh, he just hangs out in a gutter.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But yeah, he definitely looks the part. I think it was great. And there's another one of those things that James got a lot of crap for.
Why?
Was just that he was in the movie. And I'm like, just because you don't like the guy's rapping doesn't mean you have to be offended.
Yeah, I don't generally like rap
acting.
music at all, but he was a good actor. I believed everything.
The part was great. He did it great. It was... I've got no qualms with him or his selection to be in this movie.
Nope, none at all.
Our third and last one of our new young trio of punks is going to be Penny. She's played by Hannah Marks. Again, another person did great, was amazing as this character of Penny. Like, I bought it. She was cool. She was a car girl. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
She had that
dope
sick
Cadillac.
Yeah, it was like 57 Cadillac.
Well, dude, it was dope.
Dope as fuck, dude.
Might as well be a character in itself as that car. Now we're going to hit some people from the first movie pretty quickly, because again, you guys know us. We're not going to hit everybody. There are a couple of other of the younger people who aren't, say, important, like the girl that he tries to date. Yeah, not so important. So we'll go straight into the returning cast, because that's, again, the big ones.
Yeah, the ones we all give a shit.
So again, that's going to be Michael A. Gorgian. That's Bob himself. Last episode, I don't think we talked about some of his older stuff, because again, I'm not really the kind of guy that does a deep dive. He was in the Newsies. No, he's in the kids in the Newsies. No, Bob was in the That's awesome. He directed and starred in a movie, Americazzi, that recently won some awards and stuff. And so, I mean, we want to give a shout out to everybody attached to this. We love these people.
Yeah, they're all great.
So yeah, Bob is back. He is in spirit form. It's
Ghost Bob.
Ghost Bob
instead of Heroin Bob.
Yeah. We also have Sarah Clark. Trish, because how can you have Bob's son without Bob's girlfriend from the last movie? A person who would have conceived Bob's son. Mm-hmm. Devon Sawa coming back as Sean with a much, really flesh out.
Yeah, dude, Sean is as a full character arc.
Yeah, Sean is a person now. I love who Sean is. I love that. And then we've got James Duvall, John the Mod. He's coming back as a we'll get into it. Just know, very different character. Again, and they should be.
They've grown and done different shit.
He has definitely grown.
He is way different.
For that, we also have Eddie returning, Adam Pascal.
He has not changed that much.
Well, no, and
he just kind of got older and richer.
He's another one of those people we didn't mention a lot. The actor, Adam Pascal, when we did the last one, because we didn't mention that he is from Rent. Obviously, a lot of people probably know that. Not saying we didn't know.
Well, I like that movie. It's just not one of my favorites.
Yeah. Well, we last time we were just so focused, and it might have even been before we made the shift.
And he doesn't have a big party. Just drives the car to the liquor store.
Well, and again, I just think last time it was before we made the shift of putting this stuff at the beginning. It's a lot harder to remember to mention everybody's name and things they've been in.
Just derailing the entire movie.
So that might have
stop
been
talking about the movie and mention everything else he's done.
Yeah. So I can't remember. That might have even been why we didn't.
That sounds right.
All right. So then the last person that you need to worry about is Shelly.
Emo Shelly.
She got really weird every now and then. She
cries all the time.
Well, I just mean about the Mormonism.
Yeah, that was...
She gets kind of weird about it from time to time. Like, 'cause sometimes she doesn't mention it at all, and sometimes she's super
like Mormon.
Yeah, and so she's a very interesting character.
She's complicated.
Shelly is played by Ginny Jaffe. So I don't know which one it is, and I'm going to cover both bases just to cover myself. Before we move off of the people in the movie, the only other two I would like to mention specifically are, in a split second, I seen her in the movie Lisa Hammer. It's the person that is in James's TV show with him. I seen you.
Saw you in the background.
I know you were there. She was the one, as they pan up to Ross and Lilith the first time, she's the chick with the black hair who's like pointing up there. I noticed her. I want to make a shout out. I think you're great in Great Kills. So I just want to, again, like we said, we like to give people
I like to shout out people we deserve it.
We know you. We want to mention that. And so on that note, I would also like to shout out her husband. He was also in the movie.
Was he really?
Levi Wilson. He played Dorgon. I'm Dorgon! Yes. He is also like the cameraman in Great Kills. So again, there's, like I said, I'm giving a shout out all around.
He did great.
He
did great as Dorgon.
Big shout out to both of you guys. I don't want you guys to feel like people don't see you. I see you.
You're one of those guys. We love those guys.
On that note, though, I think we are ready to roll into the movie.
Into the actual movie. The thing you came for.
Yeah. So again, you guys know me. Normally, I'd love to start off with the songs, and this one does start off with it, but I love that it's a slight trick, and that's what I really want to point out, because it starts off with like that. It's a classic track. You've probably heard it in other movies where it's just this like a actual orchestra picking up the synths and stuff, and you can hear them clanging and like the random horn going real quick, and then it shifts straight into some punk
music.
I love that segue. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was good.
Kicks off the fact that I want to go ahead and mention, I don't think anybody's surprised by this information. But much like the first movie, great soundtrack. He got some good music or tracks that he had really good.
I think the soundtrack's fantastic.
It's amazing, dude. Like every time, like we'll kick into another one. They're not even all punk tracks. Like the themes that fit so perfectly.
Yeah.
But it goes from that straight into a shot of the punk show. Like the punk music.
There's a huge
big plays into a punk show. You don't know what's going on because we've not met anybody yet. All of a sudden, though, we just zoom in on a guy's face. And he's just getting the fuck beat out. And he even says that. He says, "Oh no, I've messed up. I messed up." And then shift into narrator.
Yeah, it like freezes and it's like, "Hi, I'm Bob. Let me explain this guy. This is my son. Let me explain why he's getting his ass beat.
Let me tell you who this is and why we're here."
Right.
And he gives us a very brief, because he's going to do these several times, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Bob is our narrator.
He's our narrator / like he's going to set us up for exposition. Like, I mean, he's giving us the past, present, and future points of view.
Yeah.
Right. He's omniscient. He sets up for us right now just that this is the life of Ross.
Yep.
Ross was born to Trish. Trish owned a steampunk shop. In the first movie, what would you say Trish's shop was?
Like an incense crystal
head shop. There was the bong.
Yeah, it had bongs.
Because Bob held the one while talking to Mark, right?
Yeah. Now it's like a weird, like,
no, now it's a
curio.
Well, no, it's steampunk. That's what they said. It is a steampunk shop. I do like the way, and we'll get to it later, that Ross describes. But it is much less like just straight steampunk and more like that. I know what you're talking, like the weird, like curiosities shop, like where it's got like skulls. Yeah. It does have that vibe to it for sure. And they do have random things that don't fit the steampunk aesthetic. Shelley randomly starts walking around with the axe. And I was like, that's not steampunky. What's Steve?
Who doesn't love a nice battle?
I'm not arguing with the axe. I'm just saying it's not Steve.
We could have made the axe steam.
Yeah, they could have put some pipes coming
out
the top of it.
You push a button and steam comes
out. They could have made it that. That one that she was walking around with was.
It was just a double-headed act.
It fit much more Ross's aesthetic than steampunk. Because Ross is a lot less steampunk and just more straight 1880s, right? Like, I mean, he just looks like he stepped out.
Yeah, he stepped out of the Victorian era.
Steampunk looks like you stepped out of an alternative 1880s. He just looks like he stepped out of the 1880s. Like, he looks like he could have been friends with Edgar Allan Poe. That's the outfit and look he has. While we're getting the intro to everything here, like I said, we do see Ross. We get a little bit more of his look because, again, the first time he was kind of surrounded by the crowd.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell. It's like I see a kind of a button-up shirt.
And so, like I said, he's very. I do believe Bob says death punker / emo /
I like goth dandy that he calls himself later on. That's a good one. I'm like goth dandy. I like that.
Again, he does have that. He's got a cosplayer dandy,
Doc Holliday, or something.
That is we wanted to have that fine southern drawl. While we're seeing all of the shop that he grew up in and around, we do get our first official introduction to Emo Shelley, because Emo Shelley has a thing.
Yeah, she has a thing for Ross.
That's part of the reason she probably works at Trish's.
Yeah, that's the whole reason.
Definitely is. But yeah, Emo Shelley is a Mormon, and they just tell us that in passing. That's Emo Shelley, the Mormon, is how they introduce her.
Yeah, it's odd.
And the first time you're just like, they mean X, right?
Yeah, like
she is just a gothed out Mormon girl. We hear that Ross is so straight edge. He's too much for the straight edge kids.
He hangs out with no groups. Not even the straight edge kids can deal with him because, like, he does. Well, because he does smoke, have sex, like he won't even drink water. It seems like
the line is literally that he's too straight edge for the straight edgers. But he does have one real friend in the world, and we this is when we get to see Crash. Crash is totally. What did they tell us? He's a guy, one and only friend, right?
Yeah,
they met at the beginning of high school, and for some reason they stuck it out.
Well, Crash doesn't judge nobody unless they judge him, and I guess
Ross
didn't judge him. He's like, I get which is
kind of fine because everything else we see about him super judges everybody
about everything.
A person in the movie that he doesn't judge. He judges everybody. He judges Bob.
He's very judgmental. He really is. Except Crash. Crash gets a pass.
And then we see he's hanging out with Penny for the day too. Yep. Penny is not a friend.
No, she's Crash's friend.
Yeah, she's Crash's friend.
And has a car.
And so all we know for sure in the movie is, we're about to see the scene that sets this up. Trish gets the phone call from Crash's mom. Apparently Ross showed up the day before,
drunk, crying,
and demanding Crash to go do things.
Go leave. To get out of here.
And so obviously we can assume that means Crash called a car of his own, called Penny, and
she's like, "Fuck yeah, let's get out of here. There's a show. Let's go."
They're all on their way to the show, exactly. But so the big problem here though is just that Ross is this drunk because he was the straight edge kid.
Yeah.
Trish is super worried. The voiceover Bob even gives us how much of a worry it is, because he was like, look, all she knows is Ross is drinking hard and crying, and those are both out of character for him.
And fuck, that's how I went
out. I went out because not the drinking, because Bob always drank, but Bob went out by doing something he didn't do, which was pills.
Not doing something.
And he was definitely... I love Bob, but he was a bitch boy that last night a little bit. It was probably the drugs. I can't blame him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that that's, for someone like Trish, hearing the story from everybody, she's going to see the parallels, right? She's only going to be worried about what's happening.
Immediately, she's like, oh God, he's already dead.
While all the kids are in the car, we get the rundown, the beginning of the rundown from Ross,
right,
about what's going on, right? He had met a girl. It's always a girl.
It's always a fucking girl. And certainly at this, and after all this bullshit about love being stupid, and
he was never going to fall in love.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
He's above such things.
That's the problem with this girl. She blew away his entire worldview because he was never going to be that person. But yeah, it's always a girl. At 19, 20, this kind of drastic change, just getting drunk, day drunk.
Day drunk is
riding
around
in the car, day drinking.
Oh, good times. We used to do that. But y'all do that.
Obviously, none of us are too surprised
that he's having this little breakdown.
Yeah, and that it's connected to a girl, right? We'll get more in depth with exactly what goes on, but all we needed to know is that It's a girl, and he needs more beer. I like the way he said it, almost in tears, sobbing. I feel it. I feel it too. When we run out of beer, I'm like that guy nailed that. Like it was the perfect amount of like realism but comedy, right? Like you're just like, no, I've been there. But dude, the way that was so perfectly funny. You're like, no, there's no more. And then he gets this. I love how he transitions back and forth from like, again, 1880s almost aristocratic the way he speaks, back into. So he was very much a present day whiny kid when he was like, is there more beer? And then he slid into this 1880s gentleman to be like, well, shall we stop? And she was like, stop where? This was so funny. He gets to the convenience store. He doesn't say anything to Crash or Penny. He's just like, jumps out the car and walks inside. Grabs the case of Paps, pays for it. Yeah. Just the guy at the counter. Keep the change. He keeps the change. The guy at the counter goes, you got ID? He just goes, yeah. And keeps walking. Priceless. Never would have thought to try that. I want to know if that would have worked. And then he gets to the car and Crash is like, how a fake ID? Well, I've got a real one. No, it's a real one. I love the way he said it. They sold you beer? He's like, why wouldn't they? We have to be 21. I did not. I have a hard time. I do. I call bullshit. That a kid didn't know what age he had. Yeah. I can believe that he just wasn't a kid that drank and he didn't know much about drinking. But knowing what age you're legally allowed to, by the time you're 19, everybody knows. Everybody knows. Even if you don't plan on drinking, you know what the age is. Hell, he probably has been through DARE or some equivalent where it was a question he had to know. If he just got high school, he's had to know it for something. Yeah. He's had to. It's literally been a health question. He has had to know that. There's no way he did. I call him an idiot bullshit. I was like, there ain't no goddamn. It is a funny line, though. It really was. Fault them because it was great. It isn't. I did not. He delivers it great. Just know that. But at the same time, I am almost like it's so funny. I let it slide, but I am just like, that's not. I don't believe you. Unless you literally left your house. Literally lived under a rock. Right. Your mom kept you in the basement with no TV, no access to anything. Literally brought you up like you are a freaking 18th century Amish person. That's how you would not know that. So now Bob helped set us up into a little bit more of exactly how we got to this madness, to this drunk ass Ross on a rampage. So we get to see a little bit more of Ross in the shop, right? Like we get to see him interacting with his mom. He has a very idealistic. It opens with his mom just be like, you'll change your mind when you get your heart broken. He's just like, I do that. I'm above that. But then he even goes into, this is where we get to see his vision of his dad, right? Like, or whatever this flashback was. We need to be specific. Yeah, it's a flashback. Because that flashback is definitely not post-meeting Lilith, right? It's definitely, he clearly right now thinks very highly of his dad. Yeah. He died a heroic. He was a punk hero. Yeah. Right? And she talks him down, right? I mean, your dad accidentally OD'd on Percodan. He thought we're vitamins. It's not very heroic. Yeah. He's just like, well, it's classic. She talks him down, and I was like, that's such bullshit. Because later on, when he talks Bob down, she gets defensive. I was like, bitch, she's allowed to. Well, but again, if she does it to him enough times, how's he supposed to have a good... Your opinion is going to be based on the person who knew him. Fair. So that's what I was saying. It's a little hypocritical of her to be like, you can do that. When all he knows, again, it's not even like he has no personal... Yeah, it's like, I never met the motherfucker. All I have are your stories. So if you tell me stories like, well, he was a moron because he OD'd on Percodan, because he wasn't fucking paying attention, despite the fact that he obviously was trying to defend his dad for a long time, sooner or later that's going to wear on him. Yeah. Right? Say 19 years? Yeah. She cannot get as mad as she tries to get about this. Right. After seeing like this scene, really like sets up for us, like, might be a little bit of a hypocrite. You got a little bit of a weird dichotomy you're trying to put here. That's the whole conversation, is he's setting up for us like how he got there. So that conversation was to let us know what his worldview about love was. It's all stupid and pointless, and death's the only thing that actually matters. Because we all go there. Because we all die. That's just why Dad was a hero. Bob's just like, he's about to eat every goddamn word. This is Bob tells us Lilith. We get to see the zoom in of the club where they meet. This is where we see Lisa Hammer. She is pointing. She's epic pointing. And again, was she pointing at them? I think she like a goth that saw them. What's the girl with the? I'll have to go back and watch it again. Maybe the girl with the rose was Shelley, and that girl was pointing up and saying that's where Ross is. Maybe. We'll have to really pay attention. Either way, it's very strange because it is almost like they were like idolizing the goth couple they saw. Like again, like they were like, they're like, I'd love to be those two.
Right. They look like Dracula.
But so we'll see. And they interact exactly like it's from the 1880s.
I would like to call upon you later. People don't fucking talk that way.
And we see that they just start hanging out. Everyone
18th century bullshit.
looks like it. She's wearing the glove. Everyone that was walking her down the creek side.
Right. They give gifts and glances and
And then Bob makes the text, like he's saying all this really 1800 style shit, and then he goes, and they exchange text. And I was like, that's so great from Bob right now. Bob wasn't even alive for that either.
Right.
He's just like, Bob is totally just like, look,
I know the word.
Bob's like, the people they're trying to pretend to be wouldn't have known, and I don't know. So why the fuck are we talking about this? Right? It was so good. The other thing I want to point out right now is it was almost painful to see the scenes of these two actors outside. They were so pale.
Yeah.
I was like,
It was, I thought like
they're going to get burnt.
camera was saturated.
I was like, they're going to get burnt.
That was shocking, especially her in that white dress. I was like, because she was like snow. You look like snow. Go inside. You're gonna die.
So we're mainly driving home for you that again, when we say that these are very like 1880s gothic kids,
like what's that?
Yes. They look like they are vampires.
Yeah.
Almost. Again, they don't rock the fangs. They're not going to
Not going that far, but he does definitely have.
But they both got very pale skin tones with the 1800s outfits. Yeah. So it's a very Anne Rice.
Yeah, there we go.
Anne Rice. Now's when we get to see the zoom in on Bob's headstone. This thing was dope as fuck.
When I die, I have this on the internet. It's forever. When I die, you will have my goddamn permission to do that to my fucking head.
The Stellars or something.
That was awesome.
The random actual pictures of them and stuff.
It was so cool.
It also says in giant letters, fuck you. My favorite thing that I've encountered on the internet while doing the more research this time than I normally might have done was a fan theory about the fuck you on the tombstone that Steve-O on his last night in Salt Lake City grabbed himself a case, got shit-faced at the tombstone drinking with his friend one last time, and remembered that his friend left him.
Mm-hmm.
And left SLC with one last fuck you for his friend that left.
I like that theory.
It's sad, it's touching, and
all the same mindedness stamp it canon.
Because
there it is.
I love it because again, it's sad, it's happy, it's everything. All this,
it's everything you want from that. Like no, it's real. Somebody would
do something.
Definitely do that.
Certainly that kind of character that we saw from. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
So
I also want to know.
Kudos to a fan that wrote that one.
Is that a real tombstone or is it like a foam prop? And if it is it still there? Can we go see it? I have to know.
We'll try to reach out.
Try
to find out.
James, buddy, let me know if it's still there. I want to go. I want pictures with it.
If you have it, dude, even I make a trip visit you.
I'll pay you. Let me take a fucking photo with the Heroin Bob tombs.
We definitely have some cans of beer that we would like you to sign. Let's get back on track here. They're at the headstone. While they're at the headstone, they start to have this conversation. She says she worships him.
Yeah,
she's in love with him.
Yeah.
And then he finally gives her his speech about love and how it's not real. This was a guarantee. That's what I said. They paint the story, right? Like he couldn't have seen this coming.
Yeah, no.
You're in a moment.
I saw it on her face the second he
said, I won't tell you I love you.
Yeah.
To a 19-year-old woman.
Yeah.
And I didn't even pay attention. I'm not gonna lie. My second time watching, I didn't pay attention to that, right? Like it was literally not till today. I didn't know which time watching that I was looking at it. And I was like, oh, he really just did this to himself, didn't he? Because all she wanted was I love you too, right? Or even I worship. Like he shouldn't read the
language she was after there, but he not love.
He just needs some.
This is all bullshit because we're gonna die soon. And her face, dude, like
she wrote him off immediately.
Yeah, she was just like that way her face kind of fell. I was like, oh, she's already done with you.
Yeah. And so then Bob tells us Ross's world was about to come crashing down.
Yep.
Like would happen. And it does.
I bet it was the next freaking day, man.
Oh, well, this was rough. And this is one of those things where I noticed so much similarity between this and the
first one.
Yeah, when Matthew Lillard
not the back room of a party. I think that's a little worse because it's like the dirty.
But the bathroom. Well, no, it's just like an upstairs room. I don't think it was supposed to be the bath.
No, that was definitely a door that they were on. They were in a bathroom.
But the part that I'm going to say is so much the same between the two scenes is he walks in, she makes eye contact, and then she keeps going, which is exactly right. And that
Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly what she did in the first one. Don't do that. If you're caught, kind of stop.
But yeah, so
It's just super mean to keep going.
and so he is floored.
Mhm.
He is killed.
Completely
He
broken.
didn't know what to do, and that's
He was not ready for that emotional discharge.
no, because
man.
well, he
He's
wasn't ready
so-
for the first part.
Yeah, like
He wasn't ready to be in the relationship, let alone
and then to have it just ripped away like that.
Yeah.
No, he has no experience processing things like this.
as Ross says himself, relationships like that are as useless as nipples on men.
That's right. They're just there. Stupid fucking
Laying-
things.
There's a segue back into their conversation because that's exactly what we get. We see that he gets his heart killed, and then we see him in the car. Essentially, we get this weird thing where we saw it start as Bob telling us the flashback, and then we see it end as Ross telling the story to the crash
when
and
they're
Ernie.
just parked in
And I think that's such a dope transition.
It was
like
really
to
good.
start as it's being told to us and then
have
finish
Ross.
being told to the people in the movie. I was like, that's so
Yeah,
that's a cool
that
way
was
to
really
do that. Ross definitely had been gutted. Again, we get the nipples and men statement, which is funny, but then he starts to describe love and bloody guts and twists and apart.
reaches in your chest and rips your heart out and just pulls salt all over your guts. And
Yeah, you're just rotting. Literally, Crash and Penny are just like,
Crash just leans over. It's like, all right, buddy, you need some more medicine.
some more medicine, nice paps. Again, and it would have been the thing in 2005.
Oh, yeah,
six with some punks,
Dude, it was
a bunch of
cheap when I was in high school.
That's exactly it. Fit perfectly.
Yeah,
right.
you get like, it was good. A 12-pack for like $6. It wasn't the best, but it was cheap. All right, we drank a lot of it back in the day.
And that's when we get to find out they're still on the way to the punk concert, right? Like Ross is like onward, and he's like, "What are we doing again?"
No, we're going to the punk concert.
Oh, that's right.
I don't want to. I want to go up into the mountains.
No, before he says the mountains part, he goes, "Oh, that's right. You guys and your dancing, getting nice and he's like, "You'd have fun with it." Would I?
Would I? Yeah, dude. Of course you would.
Then he's like, "I'd rather be up there in the mountains, and let's go the long way. Let's take the scenic route." And she says,
late.
I love that. She says, "We'll be late." And he goes, "We're already late. We are working in units of time." What the fuck
What
does
does
that
that mean?
I love it, but what does it mean?
It means nothing.
We are working in units of time.
Of course we are. It's an empirical truth, but it means nothing poignant to what's going on right now.
We almost forgot, though, while this was all going on, he did mention his dad to them, right? This is when we get to
My
find
dad was a punk.
and we find out
He's kind of a legend.
it's well, no, I wouldn't say legend. I would maybe say cautionary tale,
Yeah, maybe.
right? Maybe a little bit of both, right?
Right. Morality play.
Either way, he is definitely a legacy.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Everybody knows the story for sure. Like, regardless
If you
of
run
anything
into
else,
punk
we know
stories,
that.
you know the story of Heroin Bob.
Yeah, that much we definitely know for sure. Then we get to cut to the store, right? She's found out at this point, but she's really starting to freak out,
Yeah.
right? And Shelly gives the weird story about
the
meth hookers, and her Mormon cousin.
hookers are people who have money or have sex for money.
She's like, "You got to be careful. He could end up with meth hookers. We got to take care of this
Because that
now."
happened to her cousin. He was a full Mormon. He did all the things, and then one day they found him in Vegas.
And so this is like the first time you find out that she is like a practicing.
Yeah, she's still there.
You can tell by the way she's saying these.
She is horrified.
She is also worried.
I love it. She's like, "Hey, meth is an illegal drug. I don't know. I don't know if."
Then we see that she's like, "Well, we got to do something."
We gotta call people.
And you don't see her make the phone call. I love the way this transition worked, right? Like,
Yeah.
Again, this is a hard transition. And you know me, Bo, sometimes we tell you they're awful. This one was so good.
Yeah.
Because the jarring reality of John the Mod's fucking shot that we go to here, it needed to be this way, right? Like, if they would have gently, like, phone call set, and then just like wouldn't have worked.
No, it wouldn't have. We just cut to outside the building.
Yeah,
right?
I like that we get to see the before he gets the phone call. Like, again, if we would have just seen that from the phone call, not as good.
No,
This worked.
We had a whole little thing before the phone call.
Well, then we get and Bob to tell us about all of it too, right? for all of us fans, right, that we see them and we instantly are like, oh, those guys,
It's those dudes.
they look familiar. And then we like,
Especially Devin Sawa.
yeah, well, he looks it. Dude,
Yeah.
he looks like Sean still too. Like, it's not even just that.
That's good acting, dude. Like fucking almost 20 years later.
Now, James definitely looked way different. I can forgive you for not immediately being like, oh, that's John Bob.
grew a foot. I don't remember him being that tall in the first movie.
It's a lot more the angles and the intimidation
I
factor.
guess he's
too.
got these massive shoulders, dude.
But yeah, so as soon as we see them, though, we get Bob telling us about who they are and recapping. And this is another one of those things that you see people complain about, right? Have you seen this? People complain about the fact that Bob constantly does this.
Yeah, I was like,
And I was like, isn't this what you wanted?
yeah,
You wanted a movie where we were going to call back the stuff from the first one, right? And so if you want that,
better goddamn way.
well, not what better way. If you want that movie and he's making a movie that he knows new people might see who haven't seen the first one, you have to set up who the characters are if you talked about them in the first.
It's true.
So what did these people want him to do? Just slap these characters
throw
in
'em
and be like, well, if anybody ever watches this one,
No, you don't.
yeah, if anybody ever watches this one first, fuck them.
Fuck them. I should have watched the first one.
And it's not even like any of these take that long. They're done
No,
very
it's
fun.
40 seconds.
They're
It's
done.
funny.
It's super fun. It's so like jovial. The little flash cuts of
Right.
like animation type things going on are great.
Little cutout.
Yes, there's no
awesome.
reason to be upset by this. But again, this is another one of those things that I just see people unfairly and unjustifiably come at James Merendino for in this movie.
Mine's the acting. Did you notice everybody was bitching about the acting? What was wrong? What was wrong with the acting from anybody?
Nothing.
That's my side.
All right. Well, we'll get back on topic here. But so, like we said, Bob gives us the rundown of who these two are and what they've been up to.
Since the first one.
First, we'll start with John the Mod. I'm going to let Bo take over here because this guy is essentially like Bo's hero.
I am the follower of John the Bod.
All right,
Dude,
so-
it's so cool. So apparently, after the events of the first movie, we all remember he was like British.
He was such a
bod.
bod that he was known as John Bod.
Well, he met some Norwegian chick and
Followed her.
followed her over to Norway and ran into black metal, which is like, it's some metal. It's metal on steroids.
Well, and they give us the rundown, right?
Yeah.
I love this too. The reason John got so connected to it is because the reason why black metal
Is
got
black
big
metal?
in Norway is because it's a way for us
Took
to
over
rebel
our
against the
culture and
Christians.
fuck that, man. And
And John, being a Native American from
Mormon.
Salt Lake City, yes, from Salt Lake City, could relate
this.
to this idea of
Really
people
good.
coming in and taking over their culture
and
and
replacing it with
kicking it out.
Christianity.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, he's one of us.
And so, well, exactly. If you've ever met real metal people too,
Yeah.
they would have taken him in that way.
Yeah, we would have been like,
Well,
no, you're one
like
of us.
Norwegian people, they would have been
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude, whatever.
Yeah,
you
you're
definitely understand. You get it. What we're fighting against, right? Like they'd have been like, you definitely at a core level understand what we're saying. And he changed his name. Did you get what he changed his name to?
No,
For his stage name, Johnny Jekyll.
Johnny Jekyll. Fuck yeah, dude.
But yeah, so he's a black metal king now.
Yeah, dude.
We don't
Has a
actually hear
band.
much about his band.
No, but he has to have one because he mentions doing like a metal cover of Smelly Cat
But we do know that he made his way back to Salt Lake City at some point.
and opened a metal record store.
Black metal shop, which I'm like,
That could be a lot of things.
well, let's keep in mind that the
could be
scene,
like,
the scene we watch, no one's trying to buy a record. Dorgon is there to buy.
I am Dorgon.
Dorgon is only there to buy Black Cat smoke
Black
bombs.
Cat smoke bombs.
Black Cat smoke alarm smoke bombs.
They're right there. There's a sign. It says for sale, and that's not.
I love
It's illegal to sell fireworks.
I love every part of that joke though, where he literally the first time he walks up to the counter, he just goes, "Can I get these smoke bombs?" He doesn't say the name. He doesn't say, yeah. He just says, "Can I get these smoke bombs?" And he's like, "No." What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
These Black Cat smoke bombs. And he's like,
illegal to sell fireworks and
these Black
Without a license.
Cat smoke alarm smoke bombs. Like he starts reading literally
Right.
exactly what is written on it to be like this thing in case I'm saying something
They're
wrong.
in my hand, and I just want to buy them.
And finally, he just runs him off.
But he pulls a sword.
Yes.
John pulls a sword. I will run you through with my blade.
He's like,
Fuck you.
it's a little intense, man.
I'm Dorgon. God damn it. I'm Dorgon.
All right,
Leaves.
we're gone. And then Sean goes, dude, I I don't know if you know this, but that's not really the best way to make a sale.
Right. Like, you shouldn't threaten your customers' lives like that. And he's like, those fireworks are for the people in the circle.
He's not going to
Say it's not in the circle.
Oh God, it's not in the circle.
I want to be in the circle.
I do love that he still had the courteousness to use his name. He, regardless of not thinking he's part of the black metal circle, he was not going to be like, fuck you, the name you want. He was like,
I will call you Dorgon if that is what
you're just not black metal, Dorgon.
Yeah, you are not black metal.
Well, I have to point out, that was Levi Wilson.
That was funny.
Great guy.
Good shit.
Great funny line.
That was funny.
And if you think he's funny there, great kills, dude. You got to check out because he's got some great stuff as the
Got some good lines as that guy.
It's good. But yeah, so we get a pretty good look at these two guys through that scene. But we can't forget, we also did tell you about Sean.
Yeah.
Again,
And what
that
was it up to?
that was on the mod. Because all that scene list, you see both like how he was, what he turned into, and how, and the kind of craziness he is up to now.
He's very intense now.
He has no chill.
No chill whatsoever.
At all. Sean, though, we get to follow up on. Sean has the biggest turnaround story, right? So, again, if you remember from the first one, Sean had a bunch of acid.
When he hits acid,
went insane, thought Bob was Jesus. I love hearing
homeless.
I love hearing the ghost. But
I'd sometimes visit him at night and fuck with him.
That's a good friend.
Yeah, it is.
That's the kind of shit I want a friend to do with me after they pass away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love that.
You better come haunt my dreams, you motherfucker.
Well, especially that. Like, especially because he's like, he thought I was Jesus anyway. Like,
yeah, I might as well go and fuck with him.
Then, like you said, in the movie, we see he goes, after that, he's homeless. He's living on the streets. He can't get a job.
He goes into an asylum or something, and he gets better and comes out and somehow gets a job as a senator's assistant.
Well, we don't get the
job. Yeah, he works for a senator.
Yeah, we don't know the specific position. We just know he works for the state senator in Utah.
Right, brings him acid.
Just like how we did with John the Mod, other than the fact that John the Mod brought us to the literally current moment. This one, we get another moment where we're like, we get to see a little bit of his modern day personality, right? And so we see Sean just walking down an alley because Bob tells us you can't take the punk out of
a guy like Sean.
Like, he's always going to be a little bit. He's never going to be fully gone. And so we see him. He's just walking down a back alley. He sees Crash, knows who he is. This is important to have even. Well, this is important to point out because later we'll hear more of that type of stuff from Sean, right? Like, Sean is still very street level, knows all the punks, knows the stuff of the scene. He is the community, right? But yeah, he sees Crash.
He's one of the elders of the community, right?
He sees Crash, and he's like, hey, and he's like, What's this about with the cop? Did you notice he was wearing the gloves? He was. He was wearing the fucking orange gloves, the red mittens. I loved it. It was such a nice touch. But yeah, he walks up. He's just like, what's going on here? And the cop's like, oh, I had to stop and ask him. So, you understand I work over there in the Capitol, right? You know that, right? And the guy's like, all right, I still am going to be talking to this. He's like, okay, that's fair. I just got one thing I need to say then. Run. And the cop looks at him like, what? And he goes, that wasn't for you. I want to talk to you. Run. And then Crash fucking dips. And then we see Sean grab the cop's bike. He can't pedal. He's trying to pedal. Chain fell off. Yes, I know. He's trying to pedal and he can't go nowhere. He hits him in the face. He walks 5 feet. He's just standing there like hunched over. God damn it. You maced me. Who maces people? Who even does that? And he in a fit of anger, grabs the bike, runs 2 feet beside the cop and basically drops it and runs out of him. And he goes, your bike's over there. Like he's not right. Oh, he runs away. That scene was beautiful.
That was great.
That was like some next level comedy.
Yeah.
It was so great. These are
was fantastic.
These are the moments where I'm like, I don't care what people want to say. This movie is entertaining. It's fun. It's a good time.
It was a fun, simple story that I could relate to,
and we got to connect back with some good characters.
To connect back with some of the people from the first movie. What the fuck did you people?
I don't know, dude.
People are they get their expectations too high, and you should just do like me. Assume every movie's going to suck, and then you're pleasantly surprised when it doesn't.
We've gotten our full rundown on who these guys were, what they've been up to. And now we basically go back to the shop like right after the moment with Dorgon.
Yeah, and before the phone call.
Before the phone call.
They are talking about a Punjabi
death match between
Ross, Chandler, and Joey from Friends.
I love that.
That cracks me up. James, I got to know, you have to come back at me with this. Are you a wrestling fan? Because the only way you know what a Punjabi death match is if you watched SummerSlam 2012 with Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton. You got to get back to me on that one.
But yeah, no, I love that they bring up this death match because it is so funny, so like they're trying to talk about the relevance of the time.
Yeah.
My main problem with the conversation, though, is I think it should have been done the opposite way. You're going to tell me that the guy who's a black metal singer who looks like John doesn't know what that is?
Right.
But Sean does.
But Sean does. Yeah, it should
I
be
think
the other way
I
around.
think John should have been the one asking Sean that question. Like, it's a small change, but I think it would have made all the difference.
Made more sense. He would have definitely known what that is.
Right? Like, it would have made a lot. Like, I'm a little surprised that Sean would.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He watches wrestling. It's fine.
But yeah, I do love that that's the question. The way he answers too, he goes, so what exactly is that? And he tells him, and he just goes, so who would win? And Sean just looks at him, he's like, that's what I'm asking. That's what I want you to do. What just happened? And he's like, you just flipped that around. Like, I didn't ask you this question.
What? You threw me off with Punjabi bit and fight, whatever the fuck. Am I all right?
But yeah, and then he says Gunther. But he doesn't even say Gunther, which is the way it is on the show. He full on goes Norwegian with it, Gunther. Right?
I got super confused with this because there's a wrestler named Gunther. I was like, are they talking about wrestling?
No, they meant the show, dude. I know. I will point that out. As a big Friends person, it's Gunther. It's Gunther. If you're going to talk about the character from Friends, his name is Gunther.
The coffee shop
Yes.
manager,
Whatever
the fuck,
Gunther.
guy.
Gunther. Not right.
No, Gunther is not right.
John is trying to be too Norwegian about this, but he does love Gunther, and I'll give him credit for that.
If Gunther ain't getting $1 million an episode,
Then none of them should. I should love that. And then as they say that, that's when they bring up you know what this really makes me think of?
Gunther needs his own show, spinoff.
Well, no. You know what this really makes me think of was when they both looked at each other and go, smelly cat. Like, you know, like they're talking. They just
song's awesome. I'm going to make a metal cover.
Yeah, they were just looking at each other after the Gunther part, and they go, you know what this really makes me think of? And then they both look at each other at the same time. Smelly cat. And I was like, stop right now. Smelly cat. They both were. And then John was like, I want to make a death metal version.
That would be dope. Oh, I want to hear that.
During the Friends conversation, though, at the end of it is when Trish calls.
Yeah,
She's telling him, like, she's telling John, like, look, I need help.
I don't know what's going on.
He's gone. You got to help me.
Right.
And he's like, all right, I'll be right there.
Looks at Sean. Is like, when's the last time you seen Trish? She's like, about 3 years. Why are you staring at me like that, John? I'm staring at you.
You're staring at me like you want to stab me.
I'm not going to stab you, Sean. I love you.
We really need to work on that face, man.
You have like asshole face.
Every interaction between John and Sean,
It's awesome.
beautiful. Again, how did
They stay friends like beyond everybody else.
they help
the shop every day.
And it makes sense though, because remember, they're the ones that they stay soccer together.
They stay.
Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. They did. They played soccer together in the first.
They've been friends for a long time.
That's true. That makes even more sense.
Because Sean went punk when John stayed mod. Like originally Sean was a mod, and then he
changed over to pie. That's right.
It totally makes sense. Every bit of that punch.
I love everything about it too.
So we slide back into the vehicle, right?
We're back to the car now.
Ross has no social skills.
None.
Right? Like he immediately is just like, so are you gay?
Right? Are you gay?
Like no nonchalantness, no nothing to it.
Nope, nothing. Just throws it right at Penny. Like, you gay? I've always wondered if you're
And then Penny hits him with the it's not that she's bi-curious.
straight curious. I'm like, what does that mean?
It just, she was trying to be like,
Are you
I'm not
gay?
interested in you, is what she's
He's
basically
like, well,
saying.
like I tried to break it down. I'm like, does that mean you're like gay, but you want to try doing straight stuff? I don't understand what straight curious is. It gets brought up a few times too.
Well, no, every other time it gets brought up as a joke. The first time is the only time where she almost was pseudo-serious when she said it and was like, what does that even fucking mean?
It bothered Ross like it bothered me because he mentions it later. He's like, I want to know what that means.
Oh, but that, again, that was when he was drugged up, dude. That doesn't count. It wasn't that he really wanted to know. He was just drugged up and like that word. Yeah.
And he fixated on
Yeah.
it. Like, I don't know what it means.
That's exactly. That's what that scene was supposed to be. And when he brings it up the last time, it was just a joke.
Yeah.
His corny corny pickup line. Yeah. We then see in the middle of him, he rude as fuck to Penny, and not really, but he is.
Yeah, he's rude.
Crash
to me.
Crash tries to get him just to shut up, hands him the flask, like, dude, just drink this, put this in your mouth and stop talking. He drinks half of it. Crash talks, he specifically says, you just took that half. That's not beer. He goes, oh yeah, I feel that.
Yeah,
So he says,
feel it, man. He drops the weird.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you've been drinking Pabst all day and you just kick back that flask,
natural accent's gonna come out. I actually sound way more hillbilly than.
Well, not only that, like you're gonna be pretty fucking tore up, dude. Like, I mean, geez, he's been drinking all day, and you just kick back like a half of. He'd probably kick back at least a pint. Well, no, I'd say depending on the flask, I'd have to get a better look at it.
Yeah, there was a lot of spice.
It's either a half determined volume. It's a half pint or pint. It's one that's still like
a lot.
On top of all that beer, definitely us not knowing what's in it, it could be Everclear for all we know. Tell me that wouldn't fit the punk lifestyle.
Oh, it would, though. Here, drink some lighter fluid. Fuck.
Well, again, you're also going to be trying to go to the punk show. You want to make sure you get fucked up. You make sure the guy beside you might be able to get fucked up, too. You're going to put something.
Everybody's going to have
like Everclear in that fucking glass. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And then we see them on the side of the road. Do we know why they're on the side of the road this time? This isn't when they break down. Breakdowns,
that's later. I guess he wanted to stop and beat up the flowers because they're cruel. Those cruel bastard flowers. This was weird. I don't know why they did this, just to add time.
Well, then again, they're on a big road trip, dude. There's piss stops. For all we know, it's a piss stop.
Man, to piss.
Some of this, we get to see the friendly relationship between Crash and Penny, right? Like, they're kind of bagging on each other.
Trying to put a flower in her hair. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm just trying to make you look more like a girl. She's like, fuck you.
Yeah. You can see it.
She's one of the boys.
Well, yeah, and they start
yeah,
for sure. 100% to Crash. Like, they're wanting you to make sure you know that. Like despite the fact that they look more like a couple,
they are not.
They are not. They are definitely just friends. They are boys.
Yeah, she's one of the fucking guys.
Then they get back on the road, and this is when we finally get to hear more of Ross's opinion about how he grew up, right? Because Crash is like, how's your mom doing, man? Is your mom doing all right? And he's like, oh, she's doing good, and she'd love that you asked, and I'll make sure to tell her. I was like, this is so weird, these two, right?
Polite courting conversations.
But then Crash is like, oh, his mom shop is cool as fuck. You'd love it. Yeah, tell her about it. And this is I wrote it down because I loved the way he worded this.
Okay.
She has a fanciful novelty shop.
It's tremendous. And she had a fantastic relationship with a taxidermist. And I had all kinds of.
I love that.
I had a goose. It was great. And he's like, was it dead?
Yes, because
it was dead. It was taxidermied, you idiot.
I love that.
And he's like, we had a boa constrictor. It was above the door. He's like, what is that, dude?
I'm out on that.
Fuck you, man. I've been pretty fucking cool, really.
See, then now's when we get the really cool all of the punk story. Like, we're going to transition again. This is what was earlier. I told you guys.
Yeah.
Like, we're only in the cars and out of the cars for a moment. Bounce back.
This is where.
So literally, we just saw that moment in the car. That's it. And now we bounce back to the shop with Trish. But in the moment that we're there before it really even starts, because usually that's how Bob is like our transition sometimes.
Yeah.
And so you might see the scene, but then Bob takes over.
Yeah, he'll take over
before it actually goes into it.
And John the Bod
at
the shop.
And so that's kind of like
how he's with that Crash kid.
And he goes, let me stop you. Now's probably a good time to explain to you the world of punk
and all the different fucking genres.
You know, he's like both the political viewpoint and the music genre and where it's gone to in the world.
Much like religion has divided and mutated, and he is this whole thing.
And I love this, and I'll give James Merendino credit here. He made sure to say, this is not an exhaustive list.
No.
This is not all of
this. This isn't the definitive one.
Because there's
a million more.
There are people who, again, this is one of the scenes they come at him for, because they're like, oh, you didn't mention this type or that type. And he's like, he specifically says he wasn't going to. He covers himself.
Right? Like, I don't have time to list every goddamn sub.
Some of them could be 2 songs because there was only one guy.
Yeah.
He said, you get what I mean? Like, this is how subgenres work.
I created a whole new subgenre of which I am the only member.
Right. But he did a really good job to try to cover as many as he could.
20 of them
in a short amount of time.
Just lists through these
fucking runs through them, dude. And I love it.
What was your favorite one?
And what's the one at the end? Gonzo Punk or whatever, the one at the end where you see the pink gorilla, pink hair.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
I liked Krishna Kaur. Because that was pretty fucking
Oh,
funny.
yeah, no, or the Canadian punks.
Then you hear the Canadian metalcore, whatever.
Yeah, dude, you hear the
Canadian hardcore. Yeah.
yeah, the scene had a lot of funny.
Yeah, it was really good. And again, and that goes into the fucking like clip art.
Yeah.
And shit. That was freaking dope.
But yeah, so it just sets up for us the fact that, again, the world of punk is a huge world.
Yeah.
And we should be, instead of all trying to fight about the differences,
Let's all just be punks, man.
right? Isn't that the more important part? Isn't anything else? It's
Yeah.
it's the second word. It's not the gutter punk. It's
Yeah,
not this
whatever.
part.
It's punk.
It's the punk part of it,
Right.
Other than the Nazi punks.
Yeah, fuck those fucking
I
guys.
love that.
Fuck yeah, it's just a guy throwing up on him. Got Nazi punks.
We're not going to talk about those fucks.
Dudes. You beat those up anytime you see
Yeah,
them.
no, we've
Right.
seen that.
Yeah, in the first
movie gave us the perfect answer to
Yeah,
that.
as soon as you see him, you take boots to him.
That's right. Then once we finish that is when we get to hear Sean tell us about his history with Ross, right?
Yeah,
How he met Ross and everything like that.
because she's like, how the hell do you know fucking Ross? He's like, I met him 3 years ago up on the hill at his job, I guess, for some reason. I guess because he was hanging around Crash, right?
He just says that he bumped into him. He doesn't say exactly where. He's just like, I bumped into him. But he does then mention like that he knows Crash. Then he's like, he wanted to know stuff about his dad. And so I told him, he's like, right, John?
Right, John.
He named John.
Yeah, he loves it.
Yeah.
Yep, we did.
Trish is out. He never asked me about it. I don't understand. Why didn't he talk to me about it? Yeah, well, because again, she's talking down about him.
Yeah.
Why would he start to ask her questions?
Like, all you do is say he fucked up and he was an idiot. Like,
I want to know the real. I need more stuff. Yeah.
Which, when he goes to people like Sean and John, and they're like, oh, dude, Bob was the fucking best, man.
Bob was Jesus.
Yeah, Bob was Jesus.
He was our savior, man.
Exactly. So, of course, he fucking did. She gets upset. She's just like, I don't know my own fucking son. Why would he talk to you fucking people about it and not me?
During this, though, is we do get the talk from Sean where he's like, yeah, Crash isn't a gutter punk. Because the story started, he said he met him with the gutter punks, right? And then as soon as we get Bob's story, it comes back to it with Trish going, oh yeah, Crash is a gutter punk, isn't he?
No,
Sean got mad. Sean was like, no,
he just hangs out down there sometimes.
he's not a gutter punk. Get it? Like Sean is like, Sean knows the divisions, right? Like he can look at you and know which one.
Punk out of somebody
That's
like
right. But he can just look. Like some people might be like look at a crowd and be like, I don't know. They're all
what we
punks.
call a floater. He goes everywhere.
Exactly. He still is, man.
Yeah, he's a floater. He can float into any fucking crowd. Also known as a butterfly.
Yeah, so Sean, though, during this conversation, he lets Trish know that also he knew about Lilith.
Yeah. And so did John.
And at this point, both Trish and Shelley are offended at bitch. Because they're like, well, not even just that. Like, they're both offended because of a girl, but also because they didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? You can see it. They're both like,
say something.
Neither one of us got told.
Yeah.
Nothing worse to a woman is not being right informed.
Trish is like, I'm going to fucking kill her. But Trish is already walking off with that axe like she's already on her way.
No, Shelley.
Yes, Shelley. She's just like,
Shelley is always creepy. When she's holding that axe during that scene, and it looks so crazy. She looks like she's ready to get somebody at any moment's notice.
We're just going to take that from you, sweetie. It's okay.
Then we cut back to the kids in the car. Ross is telling everybody, like, look, I don't care. That you just need to understand this is more than just about Lilith, right? This is about self-discovery.
I'm so in control my whole fucking life that I deserve some fun.
And I want to know what that aspect of life is like. Because again, in his head, his dad was only about that life, right?
So he's like,
and we know that it's more than that. There's layers to that. But for someone like Ross, especially, like, from the stories that we know he's probably heard, he literally at this point thinks, I've lived my life the complete opposite way of this man. And maybe I should see his perspective, right?
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
And Crash is all for it, man. He's like, you're fucking right, you do, buddy.
And then as soon as that scene finishes,
hard eyes.
Well, before it dies, though, we get almost like this moment of foreshadowing from Ross, like this half-second foreshadowing where he's like, How old is this car?
Old enough to fucking die.
It was like, wow, what the fuck?
I wrote that.
Timing was crazy on that.
It was. It's like, how old is the car? It's like, old enough to die. Why'd you say something?
Again, this is one of those scenes that sets up for us just how close Crash and Penny are, right? Because they get into it.
Yeah, it's just,
They
touch
fucking get
fucking car,
into
you
it.
fucking idiot.
And then
You're such a bitch.
And then within seconds, they make
Man,
up.
I'm sorry, I'm such a bitch. She's like, yeah, I know you are. Fist bump.
Right.
And it's fucking over.
Again, it clearly sets
They
up how
know
close
each
they
other
are.
since grade.
Sets up that she's one of the boys, even more so. The fact that, because
Yeah, because they were going to fight. She's like,
yeah,
anytime stretch.
really lets you set up that moment. But again, it is all over the car and what they're going to do about the car. I love that when it's over, after their little conversation argument is finished, Ross jumps out of the car,
Taps it with his
he goes over, he looks at a part he doesn't know dick about, takes his cane, he goes, whack, whack.
Try it now.
And she was just like, what? We get no explanation. We get nothing. They don't talk about it again. She gets in the car, starts it, and they're just like, okay,
Woo, let's
we're
go. You're awesome, Ross. Now, granted, I've seen my dad do shit like that.
he knows about
But
cars.
but he knows what he's doing.
I don't think Ross knows anything
He
about
just
car.
poked at a random part. Tack, tack. Matt, hey, man, he got lucky.
Thwack, thwack. It's good.
Had to have been the starter, right? An old 57 Chevy or a Cadillac have a fucking starter, or would it still be a carburetor?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
probably going to be.
Yeah,
We're not car people.
Somebody in the comments tell me. I'd like to know.
Then when they're in the car, though, this is when we get the Ross is talking to Penny, and he's like, she was like, so what's wrong? You're just too good for the straight edgers now that you're drinking? And he's like, well, I never hung out with them. What do you need?
It's like, she's like, well, I mean, I don't know anything about you, man, and stuff.
And then she starts saying the stuff about him, like the
you
only
think you're
thing people.
better than all of us.
And he's like,
Shit.
that's what you think? And he looks at Crash like, that's what people think?
And Crash is kind of like,
And again, at that moment, don't you almost want to be like, you never thought to tell him that?
right?
You're his only friend.
Only friend.
And you never thought to look at him and be like, everybody else really doesn't like you because of,
You're an arrogant bastard.
right? But no,
Maybe tone that down a little.
he does not.
Nope, not till Penny says
And it
something.
really does offend him, right? You hear Ross is literally like,
God, am I?
think I'm arrogant?
Is that what's... Oh, shit. I have to fix that immediately.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to change that. I'm going to stop being so aloof. And then says the most aloof thing I've ever heard. Let's pick up this random guy. He wasn't even hitchhiking. It wasn't like he said, let's pick up this hitchhiker.
Nope, no thumb out.
Let's pick up this guy who's squat on the side of the road.
Looking at a bag intently.
He said that right after saying, I'm going to stop being so aloof. That is aloof.
Yeah.
That is as aloof as you can get. That is up in the clouds and flying away. Let's pick up this guy, right? That is,
He did misuse the word aloof, I believe.
I don't know, as Ross was
I'm
something.
going to stop being so stuck up.
Well, maybe he was he's so drunk and he's so grasping
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
Right?
That's
So
true.
they're trying to use him. And he's using that wrong now. And we'll end that fucking,
Yeah. Oh, fucking
he
A.
kicked that flashback to you.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Yeah, so now is when we get my favorite, like, weird sight moment of the movie.
Favorite character.
William Mushroom.
William, the Rasta Mushroom Man.
He's just standing outside the road. He's digging through his bags, and they're like, can we help you? You need a lift?
Right.
What are you doing out here? I was just waiting for a pickup, man.
Come see. And he opens the bag and
They're like, what are you picking up? Or what did somebody drop off?
yeah, I just started.
And finest stuff straight from Wisconsin, right?
I said, I open this fucking mushrooms. And they're just like, oh shit, that is a ton.
And then
And then fucking Ross walks over and just
eats a massive handful.
just this fucking.
And they're like, Crash leans in this, like, look at the mushrooms for a minute.
Yeah.
William goes,
How'd you get your
how do you get your hat to stand up like that?
Oh, fuck. He's just like soap. You just put it in and let it dry.
I guess proving he's not a bust or gutter punk, right? Like,
Exactly.
you wouldn't use soap.
Imagine
You wouldn't use a
you
clean product.
Yeah. It'd just be grease.
Or something, yeah. So I guess that does back us up for earlier. But he's like, it's soap. And then so William leans in, he goes,
Smells like soap.
smells like soap. In the face, dude, did you see like Colson MGK's face? He was just like,
Yeah, it was.
it was totally like Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Right? Like I totally loved it. And he was just like, that's it. Yeah. And then he goes, looks at Penny, and he's like,
How you get your hair so pink?
die.
Smells like
Die. And then
I
Crash leans in, he goes,
Can I
can you smell your hair?
He goes, I don't smell anything. Wisdom.
Because earlier he said, "I'm." how'd you get your braids? Wisdom.
I grew him with wisdom.
Yeah, it was so fun, so beautiful. I love conversation.
He's great.
So good.
We all want to meet a awesome Rastafarian
And
on the side of the room.
then is when we get the moment that Ross walks up and he's like, "Oh, I'm hungry.
I'm hungry.
I can use a snack."
So much.
He grabs a handful and shoves it in his mouth. He's chewing them back and like crashes like, "You're gonna die,
Fucking die, man.
And William, without missing a beat, just goes, "Him no die, but he wouldn't lie."
Fuck yeah, he is. He gonna fly real fucking high. A handful of those fucking things.
And then we immediately see the shift into when the drugs are kicking in.
Yeah,
And the perspective conversation. I love this because
your perspective isn't my perspective.
I've had this conversation while on
know my
drugs
because you're not me and you don't know my perspective.
I've had that conversation while on fucking
we all fucking have.
Perspectives are crazy. It is.
Because you don't see things through my eyes. You don't know how I perceive things. Like, because your eyes aren't my eyes.
Why would we ever say something like that? Because no one could ever do that.
Those aren't letters. Letters aren't letters. And he's like, yeah, they're right. He's like, no, those aren't letters. He's like, yeah, they are. He's like, no, you don't understand.
Oh, man. It's so
It was fun. Good scene of them just being high as fuck.
While all this was going on, though, I will say the guy who plays Ross really nailed the Bob coming out of Ross.
Yeah.
Right? Like the way he got when he was having was just like the manic fucking conversation.
Yeah, it really was.
That you hear Bob have in the first one. And he's like, and it connects like from this to over this. And it was really mad. Like, I was like, holy shit, dude. I hear it, man. I hear the Bob coming out of Ross. He has found that connection he was looking for. He has touched the face of God. I mean, Bob. I mean, God.
We all know Bob is Jesus. We all know this.
The scene ends with Penny just looking at everybody. When's Penny get some drugs?
Right. Oh, you all are having a great fucking time. When's Penny gonna get some drugs?
I don't blame her.
I don't either, dude.
Because she has just been driving all day while those two have gotten shit-faced and now gotten fucked up on some drugs.
Mushrooms, because fucking Crash and William were too in the backseat.
Definitely.
They're all fucked up.
So yeah, it was very crazy, very fun, very wild romp.
Right? And then it cuts back to the shop for 2 seconds.
Trish has the breakdown about being the weird parent. Not even bad, just like weird. Like, she says bad, but she's just weird. Yeah, she's like, I go to the PTA conferences and they all look at me.
Well, maybe don't dress in fishnets at the PTA meeting.
Yeah. And then John says something to her and she's fucking sarcastic as hell to him. Thanks, Thor.
Yeah.
And he just looks over at Sean and goes, she's mad.
Yeah, she is.
It's like, I think we got that.
Yeah, we got that one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thor.
Right? Like, I think we're going to throw this back to you one more time. You get it, dude. But so she says, during this, like, again, this is the moment where Shelley has a breakdown, right? Eva and Shelley, they're all freaking out and they're all having their own little meltdown.
Right.
Trish has her meltdown and they're trying to calm Trish down. And she's like, none of you fucking care about Ross. You're all here telling her that she's a shit mom.
When Ross is out there hurt, probably dying, and you're all just fucking useless. All you
and so Shelley's like, okay, she's right. We got to do more. So she makes another phone call.
Yeah. Oh, Eddie. And he's like, I'm on my fucking...
Now, look, I want to say right now, just like always, we get these review moments from Bob of like, in case you forgot this guy, let me run down who this guy is. So far, everybody else, right?
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, they've had...
Sean's guy. Sean's had like we already said,
he made the best one. Yeah, he had the best life.
John the Mod, nothing wrong with his life. Still good. Still like good. Trish, kind of questionable.
Yeah,
but nothing really wrong.
Yeah, nothing really wrong. She's running a shop. She has a great kid. All this stuff.
Nothing bad. Eddie's a scumbag. And again, this is real life.
Yeah.
Every person in a friend group can't be great. So someone's going to evolve into a shithead and you don't talk to him no more.
I think that's Eddie.
It's definitely Eddie. Because Eddie is essentially the Girls Gone Wild guy. But for Utah, which means not quite nudity, right? Like,
it's like
it's online flirting,
almost,
right? Like, and it's like girls, but no nudity.
Yeah,
it's the bikini cam girls.
Yeah, and I push my boobs together.
Well, and punk bikini cam, like they specifically say, it's like girls or whatever. And so he's even worse.
Borderline porn.
Well, not only that, it's even worse. He's taking advantage of a group that he was never actually part of.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
Remember, Eddie specifically said that to Bob and Steve-O, like, I'm not really one of you guys.
Yep, I'm not really a punk.
So he's literally
just
like
me.
he's literally like exploiting a group that's not even his to make this money. You really see why Sean has such a problem.
and later on, you see why he goes at him.
And I don't blame him.
I don't either.
Eddie. I don't like
Eddie.
I loved Eddie in the first
I
one.
did, because it was like, oh yeah, you're just that guy.
He's got a bad label just because, right?
He's the guy who gets laid a lot, but people hate him for it.
Now
It's like, oh,
you started doing scum with that.
you started making a profit off of shit
Well,
like
and
that.
he even said, like, like Sean's like, you just slept with everybody's girls. And he's like, well, not everybody's. Like, he went from being a guy who was like, oh, I just ended up in a place where that would happen to sounding like a guy who was trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's a shift.
It went from I don't have to work for it to maybe I do have to work for it as it got older.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, though. Right now, we just saw him for a split second.
Actually, not that far.
I know it's not. Because it's one of those other, like, lob it tennis style moments. I just wanted to say, like, technically in the movie, we just see him for a split second, and he gives us another one of the, I'm like, is he?
Yeah, I'm honest. Of course, I'm gonna help Ross.
Yeah, the next scene, though, is the one, it's Bosley's favorite.
Bowling scene.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I'm telling you right now, it's because you keep going from a point of view of like, it doesn't make sense. But I'm telling you right now, you're just missing the point that the last thing we saw was Penny saying she wanted to do drugs.
So we go to a bowling alley for.
Well, they just have to go somewhere where she can't drive. They can't still be in the car.
I guess.
So you're just fixed on the fact that it's a bowling alley. But I'm saying, have you ever driven the hinterlands of Utah?
Fuck no. But
So then do you know if there's not bowling? Do you know if there's bowling alleys every 500 feet or not?
No, but if there is, so weird.
Well, I'm not even trying to say there is, but I'm just saying, for all we know, it could be really popular with Utah rednecks.
It could be.
So
I feel like they just needed more time in the movie.
Well, no, because like I said, she wanted to do drugs. They could have put that scene anywhere. Your only problem is the bowling alley. So would you have been more okay if they did it in another flower field?
Or if he was just still in the car, I mean, fuck me, my
No,
friends
that's
did
the
drugs in the car.
I know, but that's the point is they weren't going to do that. Penny was mad because she couldn't do drugs. She was never going to be the person that was like, I'm going to start doing them now. She would have done that from the beginning. She wouldn't have made that point in conversation.
I guess.
The point in conversation was to let us know she's stopping because, God damn it, she's had enough and it's her turn.
And we're going to bowl and I'm going to eat some fucking mushrooms.
Right. Like, to me, that was my takeaway. When she made the conversation point to them at the last time, it was her to be like, we're stopping, my turn. Fuck you fucks.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine then. We're like, okay, now suddenly we're bowling and it goes long and then he wakes up in a parking lot.
Well,
I thought it was a dream the first time I
I
watched
don't even
it.
know if it goes that long. Again, I feel like you felt like it was longer because you didn't like it.
Yeah.
You were like, this is so fucking, why are we here?
Why are we here? What are we doing?
Because it's really not that.
Where'd William go?
It's really just a couple of moments of them just like laughing and giggling together. And really, I think it's just trying to set up that this was a group that weren't friends. And all together,
Now they are.
all together, their friendship,
I can see that.
the three of them are now forming a bond together. Because before it was two separate groups of friends.
Yeah.
Now it's like, we all are
coming
friends.
together. Okay.
I'm not trying to say you ever need to like it, but I'm at least glad you're not as mad.
Never like it. I'm going to stay on this hill and down.
Well, to me, it's so weird that you have so much of a problem with this scene. The next scene is the one that's horrible.
Yeah, but at least they were like still in the car. My thing was like, we're suddenly out of the car at a bowling alley, and then we're back in the
Well, we were suddenly out of
it out like it was a dream.
We were suddenly out of the car for the flower field. We were suddenly out of the car for the breakdown. We were suddenly out of the car for the mushrooms.
Suddenly, we're like in a building. It was odd
The car was in the parking lot just because the bowling alley has no windows.
to see the car. The car has to be in every shot.
Next time I'll tell James, crash it through the...
Crash it through to the fucking door. I want it in the fucking background of the bowling alley. I have to have the fucking...
They were on a lot of drugs after that.
Yeah, just smash right through. We're playing some fucking bowling.
All right, we need to get off. Yeah, so...
I don't want to go into the next.
I know. Let's rush this.
Rush through it. All right. It's terrible and awful.
So Ross makes up. William's gone. We can do this real quick.
Yeah.
William obviously left sometime before the
Bowling alley, because
he's not in. Yeah, he's not in background or anything. He was kind of bummed. He's like, "Oh, I want to
I like that guy.
We immediately hear yelling. It's Penny's dad.
He wants to know where the fuck she's been. You've been gone for days.
She grabs fucking Ross's cane.
Yeah, after he punched her in the
Well, yeah. Well, again, I'm trying to go fast.
Yeah, but she grabs the cane, she jumps in
Yeah, no, she got knocked. Yeah,
and starts smashing the fuck out of you.
yeah, because he is obviously
you dad.
he's abusive, and we find out sexually
molesting her.
Yeah. Again, I get it. It's to set up like the struggle she's dealt with. I don't know how much we needed that.
I don't know if we needed it.
Because it is so fast. You never bring it up again.
Like her dad being pissed off about her being
honest. Maybe even
that last line was
yeah. Well, maybe even with the punch, I can deal with the physically abusive.
Yeah.
I don't know if we needed the sexually abusive.
No, that was it
was a lot.
And then it was just that one line, and it was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
But then she hops in the car because Crash realized
he's like,
we need to
get the fuck out of here.
I know she'd hate me to drive her car, but this is one of the few times I think she'll be okay.
She didn't say anything.
And when they peel out, it's to Mott the Hooples, All the Young Guys. And I fucking love that song. And I love that. That's
a good song.
It is.
I didn't know that's what it is.
Oh, All the Young Dudes, excuse me now. I love that song, and I don't know why it was there.
It was a good
song. I enjoy it.
I'm just thinking
Great
what
song.
it was.
Oh, yeah, dude. I love that song.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Mott the Hoople.
Nice.
You'll never forget Hoople. You'll never forget that name now that I told you that. Mott the Hoople, All the Young Dudes.
Oh, the young dude.
In the car, as soon as the scene is over, like Penny's still like freaking out. Trying to clean her. She's trying to clean it up a little bit, but she has nothing because she's not a normal girl.
It's not like you wipe her sleep with a display leather on it.
Well, and it's leather. You can have spikes. Like, what's it gonna do? Just like smear across your face. But yeah, so she's like pseudo trying to clean herself up, and Ross just turns around, looks back at her, and he goes, "I think I love you." She's like, "Shut the fuck up." It was so beautiful because he was just looking for something.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's what he wanted to say.
No,
he just
got a reaction.
He wanted to comfort her. He wanted to do something,
and it made her laugh,
and that was good.
Yeah, and it defused the situation.
I loved that moment.
Yeah,
it was a horrible scene altogether. The way it leaves, though, is great. It really is good. You can really see the connection between these two where is like escalating.
Yeah, we're all bonding more and more as our journey continues on our way to the show.
And this is the moment where we find out Sean. This is where we get more of Eddie. This is where we've already told you. We're not going to tell you again. This is all that stuff we said about Eddie being a horrible person. It gets brought up right now by Sean. Sean does not like Eddie. But what's funny, I want to point out, is before the scene started, when they brought up Eddie and calling him the first time, they were like, they looked at Sean like, "You know Eddie?" And he was like, "No, I don't think I know." And then when he's in the car, he's like, "Yeah, I remember.
I remember you fucked everybody's girl back."
I find it hard to believe that he didn't know him the first time.
You just wanted to make sure that they didn't leave him behind.
You know what I mean, though? Because I was like, you definitely know him.
Yeah, it's like if
you knew who you just broke down, like you just looked up him on Wikipedia with no phone in your hand. You know who he is. You were like, "Oh, you're that guy. You got famous for doing this." And he was like, "Well, something kind of like that." And he's like, "This website." It's like,
use website right here.
It's like, dude, where you exploit women. You knew every bit of this, and you knew that. Let's not pretend. You're a pimp. And then he calms down, he stops, and then it's all calm for like half a second. And then literally Eddie just goes, "And I pay so much in goddamn taxes." And Sean,
you bleeding heart,
and Sean being a dude who he works
on the hill.
He's literally like, "I pay fucking taxes."
What does that have to do with anything?
And he says, "What does that mean?" And literally Eddie goes, "You don't even know what taxes are." And I was like, just because you pay more in taxes because you make more money here doesn't mean that your taxes are more important than everybody else.
All pay taxes, dickhead. Fucking they're going back and forth.
They're screeching around, and everybody in the limo just is like, "You're right, man.
You're right, John. I'm sorry."
Like the screams was like a paragraph of like words that we don't understand.
Dissertation on why we should calm down. You're right, John. I'm sorry.
I never looked at it like that.
Think about it like that. That was great. You shut him up, though. Little Viking roar solves everything.
It was. I love everything about that whole in the back of the limo moment that we got. Sean says though while they're in the car, he's like, "I think I know where he's going."
Yeah.
He's like, he tells him about a punk show. Trish is like, "He's not going to a punk show. He's not a punk."
Crash is though, and that's
his best friend
with Crash. That's their
go. I just trust me. I'm telling you right now.
And he's spot fucking on.
That's where they go. Thankfully,
as we saw at the beginning of the movie. Thank fucking God.
Now we find that we're at the show.
We're at the show.
The kids are at the show.
The band is there. The kids are here. Let's fucking go.
And this is the greatest.
It looks like they just had a punk concert.
It looks like they, as the screen people, you know, as all the people working on the movie, they just were like, hey, let's call people we know.
Let's
have
call
an
actual
actual
bands and have a show, and we'll just film everybody having a good time. And then later film the parts with the actors.
Yeah.
With everybody being
Still
quiet,
here. Yeah,
like they do.
It's real. But again, it works really well. It looks real.
It's just everybody's having a great time at this fucking show. I want to go. It looked awesome. That pit was dope.
So yeah, once we're at the show, though, literally they walk in, they're walking down the hallway.
Penny's just like, we're going to pop your cherry tonight, man. It's your first show. Woo! Are we supposed to know who fucking Jerry is?
Who is Jerry?
Right, I have no idea, because Ross stops. He's like, Jerry, I fucking missed you, man.
Well, and he says it like he knows who Jerry is. Crash looks like, the fuck is Jerry? Jerry looks like he knows everybody else at the punk show.
Was he in the first?
I don't think he is. Is this just like one of those, like, again, this is crowdfunded. Is this just like maybe like he made the moves or something? Is this one of those like, this is the guy who got a shout out? I don't know.
Might be.
That's dope if that's what it is, because it really is a moment where you really get to see the guy.
Yeah, it's full.
It's a full name call out. It's
his big gauge appears. That was awesome.
Like a little bit of a
mustache
handlebar, like curled up a little bit, slightly, just slightly. It's not like super. It's not like a full circle,
right? Just a little curl.
It's nice. Yeah. So then they get inside, and Ross turns like in the middle of all the craziness and looks at Penny, and he's just like, "Can I ask you something? Would you ever think about being straight curious for a guy like me?" Well, she doesn't even say no. She just goes, "A guy like you?"
Well, me, fine. We'll just cut the bullshit.
No, I couldn't.
Nope, you're not.
Ross is just sitting there for, like, you see him, like, he is literally just like,
oh, not what I expected, but okay. Oh, fine. I can
and then she proceeds to tell us more about lies.
Just what I stand.
Which, in all fairness, I want to point out, Ross didn't say that. Why did she accuse him of that when he asked, like, do you want to be with me? And then she was like, you're not one night stand material. He didn't say that. He didn't say, do you want to sleep with me?
Can you do the weird, whatever the hell straight curious means?
Well, again, like, the kind of guy he is, be with doesn't mean sleep.
He's like, no, he doesn't play that shit.
He speaks like the 1880s, and be with would mean in a relationship.
I'm going to court you. I shall bring you fine cheeses and wines.
Precisely. Indubitably.
Have a fancy handkerchief.
But so I thought it was very weird that that's where she went.
Yeah.
But then she immediately also clears that statement up. And she's just like, look, you're a keeper. Like, I'm not ready for that kind of thing.
And then it immediately changes her mind.
And starts making
out 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is.
It was a little fast, but it's fine.
It's fine.
I love Crash when he comes.
5, 2, 5, 2, fucking people. Yeah. I love it. What a bro.
Right? What a dude. It's so great. He's just like, I'm so happy.
Well, I love it. He looks at him and he goes, see? Ross, is what I said. Ross, this is my cool fucking friend. You know, it was like like mimicking the part we didn't get to see where he actually introduced him.
Oh, you have my cool friend Penny,
right?
And my awesome friend,
right?
Fucking Ross.
So fun. It was dope. I loved it.
Good acting again from Machine Gun Kelly.
But so yeah, now we get the part where Ross breaks out on stage, right? Like we saw a couple of cool concert stuff.
Before that, Bob does his voiceover of why punk is great.
Yeah, it's really quick though.
Yeah, but it's like everything. All these people, they're here, and it's awesome.
They're all living gods.
Yeah, it's so good. That's kind of his last big monologue of the movie.
And then rest on it. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It was quick. It was really quick. He's like, the shows are great because you feel like you're in the moment. In moments, everybody except you. You feel like you're all part of one thing. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. It is. Yeah.
But the climax, the reason, why
he finishes this thing, and Ross climbs up on stage to get us. Now we are literally moments before the chaos we saw at the beginning. And so he climbs up on stage. Before we go any further, I want to point out the band on stage was Extreme Corporal Punishment. That's their name in the movie. So it's the same British band from the first movie. 8 Buck Experiment is the name of the actual band, in case people want to actually go and listen to them. Yeah. And so they are here playing the same British band that thought SLC was too hardcore for the first time. And when Ross climbs on stage, You can even hear the lead singer turn over and look to the rest of the band like, told you guys we shouldn't have come back. You said we shouldn't have done this again, guys. I fucking told you. I love that. Salt Lake City's too wild, guys. Love that, especially because this wasn't actually wild. Like, this was the furthest thing from wild. Yeah. Ross is very calm while he's on stage. He apologizes. We're going to get back to the jams in a minute, you know. Well, and then he proceeds, don't get me wrong, he words the stuff all really wrong. But his attention was good. And the actual, like, the thought he wanted to convey was great. Yeah, he's like, I love you guys, even though you're a bunch of, like, I don't get it. It's not my stuff. Petri dish of redneck distinction. Like, and you let a genre of music. That's dead, yellow fence. Yeah. Again, he wasn't trying to be, that's just the way he talks. He really insulting without meaning the message that overall was just like, I do feel the connection. Yeah, we're all like, he was saying he felt what Bob was describing. Essentially, he was like, being here with you, I understand it now. But he's like, I didn't focus on the I want to fuck you all because you're my bitches. Yes. Way he worded it. Oh, Jerry, you're my bitch. And he gets pulled off stage. Oh, fuck. And he starts screaming for Crash, and Crash is like, I messed up, man. And he's like, yeah, you did, man. Yeah, you did. And again, we have no idea how he's going to get out of this pickle he's in. Thank God. Fuck beat out of him. Thank God everybody showed up when they did. John the mod, they bust in, get everybody off of our boy Ross. Johnny Jekyll goes in. Yeah, fuck fuck people up. He's warding them off with the devil words. Yes, I love that. Like, yeah, you punks don't know what to do with it. Can do. Get back. Then they get outside, and Trish immediately starts trying to blame Penny. And I get where this comes from. It's because she doesn't know that that's not the girl. Yeah, she's thinking this is Lilith. She's thinking this is the one that caused all this shit. What'd you do to my kid? Yeah, and that's not. And so Ross quickly tries to like, no, she's not the reason. You need to stop blaming her. He straight out goes off on his mom. Yeah, he does. Rightfully so, though. And then, not your dead boyfriend. And this is the moment, though. This is the one I call back from the very beginning. She got so uppity in the beginning when he tried to talk good about Bob, and she talked him down to the dirt. Yeah. And right now, he didn't even really talk him down. He just said the dead boyfriend line. And she starts to get so defensive and like, you can't talk to him about that. And I'm like, fuck you, lady. Yeah, he can. The reason he talks like that is because that's how you told him to talk like about Bob. What'd you do in the beginning of the movie? Who's some dipshit who eat on Percodan? And he just said the same thing too. He's like, he's an asshole who did 1,000 years ago. She slapped the shit out. I swear to God, I hated it. I did too. I was like, no, don't. You can't be like that. Ross says he's not coming home. He's like, fuck you. And she starts to freak out. And then Sean coming in with the full-on, like, waxing poetic. He has the words of wisdom, right? He comes over and he's just like, look, I just don't think you're seeing it from his point of view. You've looked at him his whole life like he is Bob. And so the second this happened, you were like, he's going to die. You didn't even give him the benefit of the doubt to learn, to grow, to be his own person. Be a fucking kid. Let him be his own person. I called him Papa Son. You can't wear kid gloves just because his dad died his whole life. Like, you got to let him do things. You got to, because if not, and again, this is the moral from the first one. If people don't do some of these things, not that I'm saying you should go out and do a bunch of drugs. This is not like overtly directly from the story. But again, if you are in these types of worlds, the shock to the system of never experiencing it can be worse than if the slow exposure really can, right? And so it totally makes sense. And I got to point out, Sean's the one in the movie. Every time Ross is brought up, he's like, no, he's a good kid. He's smart. He has a good head on it. He says it multiple times through the whole thing. Like, he's the only one that's like, no, he'll be fucking fine. Yep. We just got to let him get whatever it is he's going through out of his system. And so as soon as this little speech is made, Trisha's like, yeah, okay. She calms down. We hear the moment. We hear the thing from Shelley. She's talking to Eddie and John about it. At least that girl seems protective of it. And they're just like, huh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cute couple, right? Like, there's not even paying attention. I was like, Shelley, she's really showing growth. And then I was like, oh, there it is. There it is. Immediate, right? Starts bawling. Like, she showed growth for half a second. And then she was right back to it. I did love that, though. It was a nice touch. And then Crash shows up. And Crash totally, this shows you the difference between like Punk's in 85 and Punk's right into that. Like, he shows up and immediately is like, hey, and such a see you. Yeah, like, I love to see you. She gives her a big hug and stuff. She's like, no. And then he's like, how about we go get some food and ditch the old people, the geezers, fence guys. And I was like, see, this is so different. Like in '86, Steve-O would have said something like that and been like, fuck off.
Yeah, that would fucking leave.
But in, like, again, in 2005, they're like, they said it.
Your mom.
And then he's like, I don't really dislike you guys, but you are old.
Yeah, but you are old. Yeah.
So I'm going to, now, us young kids are going to go this way.
We're going to hit up the diner, get some greasy food.
And that's the end of the movie, guys.
Yeah,
no crazy nothing. I mean, we do get one.
We got one last Bob.
And I don't like this one.
You didn't like this?
Well, again, just the overall, like, it's fine. It's good. Like, it's a good, nice thing to end on. But as far as, like, I don't believe that about Bob is all I'm
You don't think it's
the way I saw, again, and this isn't me, James Merendino owns this character. However he saw Bob is how Bob is. But I just felt like Bob loved his friends too much to have that kind of fuck you attitude about them
being alive
and moving on. Well, and just getting to actually, like,
move on and forget about him a little bit.
Well, I don't even know if anybody was forgetting about him. They were just all learning to honor him in the right way, right? Because Trish wasn't honoring him in the right way.
No.
Ross was barely honoring him at all because Trish wasn't letting him. So to me, it's like, I don't even know. I just felt weird about it. I was like, dude, he loved his friends, right? Like in the first movie, he was the one that, like, he was the one that loved everybody. Steve-O was kind of a dick to some of them.
Yeah, he really is.
Bob's the one that's just genuinely like,
no, I like all you people.
Right?
But Eddie's cool. John.
Yeah. And so, like,
cool.
I just felt
Sean's awesome. He's the one that goes and checks on Sean.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt so much like I was like, I don't feel like he would be like a big fuck you to all the people because they're doing good.
Yeah, might be.
It's a small thing to have a problem with. It's literally 2 lines.
It's like you didn't like Bob being like, I'm still dead, so fuck you.
Yeah.
And
it's the only thing.
It's a cool line.
It's like a cool line.
Where you're coming from.
It sounds great to end on, but like
maybe
thinking about the
better if it
character.
was Steve-O.
Yeah, dude, again, like, because that's the way he ended.
Yeah, he would have been that more Steve-O's mentality of
then
I'm still dead, so fuck you.
Yeah. But Bob, to me, I was like, Bob wouldn't be that. But again, we don't know. Maybe a spirit. Maybe you again.
He's a bitter.
He's had 17 years or 19 years to get embittered. Even
I don't think so. He has that whole little bit where he's just like, let's have a smoke break.
Right, I know that. Yeah,
He's just like, all movies. Also, we should have a smoke break. I agree.
You know us. We didn't cover every single second. There were a lot of these Bob scenes that they're fun, but they don't really more to the story. So we want you to see it. So
we don't want to ruin everything, but go watch it. We just kind of want to give you the main overview of what's happening.
So the beer, we'll go straight to that. Again, we don't have a lot of other things to worry about necessarily.
The beer is fantastic. I'm out. My cup is empty and I'm a little sad.
We love you guys at Proper Brewing Company.
Thank you so much.
SLC Pils is amazing. It really is a delicious beer. If you're ever in Utah, I highly recommend going out and trying it. I have no idea if you could end up as lucky as we were to end up getting some shipped to you. Not by them, but I just mean like in general. Because I don't find they do. I couldn't find anywhere to order it from to even like try to get it to this side of the country.
I would like to buy more. I'm not lying.
But yeah, it was definitely great. All right, guys. At this point, we got nothing left but telling you what we're going to do next week. We are back to things as you
games.
So it's the game. So Bo, go ahead, hit them with what we're drinking.
We're going to do Founders Brewing Company's Mortal Bloom Hazy IPA. There's your clue. Mortal Bloom.
All right, guys, you know how it is. That's what to look for.
Yeah, leave your guesses in the comment sections on the YouTubes, Facebook, all that stuff, and we'll give you a thumbs up if you got it right, and a big F fuck you if you got it wrong, right?
All right, on that note, we're done, man.
All right. How long is that Rastafarian been in the corner? I am Gorgon.